and it's trucking goat. I would say I look a little different, but seeing as YouTube wiped out 4 years of my stuff, with the exception of like 1 or 2 things, and a lot of people disappeared. When I say a lot of you probably don't even know me. I always have my hat. I forgot it this morning. I have the same basic routine every day. Alarm goes off, I get dressed, all that stuff, grab my lunch, grab my hat, grab my headset. My headset's over here, but I forgot the hat. Par for the course for the day, I guess. But I had that whole couple videos about my weight loss deal, so I guess we'll start over. I've been in this industry since I was a kid. I've been driving for a very, very, very long time. Started hanging around the garage every once in a while when I was like 8 or 9, and then when I was like 10, it was every weekend, and it was just hanging out. Yeah, tell me to go to this side of the garage, grab this, go over to the box, grab this, grab that. When I was like 12, I started washing them. There were 3 trucks in the fleet for a while, then it was 2. Then he had a friend that came over. It was a friend of my dad's that we ended up finding out was actually like a second or third cousin. Then I started working on them when I was 13, helping out with brakes and all the other stuff, and then it was, as they say, it was all downhill from there. It's all I ever wanted to do. When I graduated high school, I was like 250, 260 pounds. And over the course of the years, I started gaining weight. Lost my father, and started looking at myself about, how healthy was I. Had no idea how much I weighed because I never went to the doctor. Excuse me. But after that deal was when I went through my mental issue from all the stuff that I was carrying for my life. But my wife brought up from time to time after he passed that, she's a lot younger than me, that maybe I should go see a doctor, get on a routine of having a doctor, make sure I'm okay. So December of 23, I went to the doctor, and she proceeded to tell me that, you're 523 pounds. I knew I was big because I was in like a 7, 8X shirt, depending on what company. Most of them were 7, but since I'm 6.5 feet tall, some of their 7s weren't long enough. So a couple of them were 8. It gets expensive and difficult to find clothes that big. But she told me I was 523 pounds, and I said, okay, well, I guess I need to, start looking at things and make changes, which I did. I started eating better, but it was still the same old garbage all the time. And then we flash forward to December 24, go back for my other yearly checkup. I was down to 460 something. And I dropped like 60 pounds over the course of that year. And she looks at me and says, well, the good news is you're losing weight. The bad news is you're now diabetic. Like, okay, well, it's soda and junk food, so I'm really not surprised. She goes, no, you're at the threshold of losing your medical card for your CDL. Well, that was a punch in the face because they mess up my medical card and it screws up my work. That's all I've known. It's all I want to do. It's all I can do. I'm not suited for like retail or anything like that. When I was in construction, so I could probably do something there, but as heavy as I was, I can only do dumb stuff. So she said, come back in a couple weeks and we'll check it again. As I said, that's pretty much it. So we went back in January. Yep, sugar's still high. My wife was with me, and I said, well, that's it. That was on a Friday. I try to keep my appointments on Fridays because of my work schedule. So we left there. I told the wife, I said, that's it. This is my last weekend with the soda, the candy, the junk. That's going to be it. A couple days later, we had to go take one of my daughters, to the doctor. And that was the last sugar soda I had. So that was January 6th or 7th, I think. No, January 3rd. And now, I'm floating right now between 290 and 310 because it's not, Western Pennsylvania, it's always cold and rainy in the winter. So I wasn't getting out much. So that little 20-pound swing between 290 and 310 is perfectly okay with me because I'm down 230 some pounds altogether, depending on what day in the swing we are. So from where I started to where I'm at now, that little swing there, I'm okay with that. I'm down to a 4X. I can fit in a 3, but they're kind of tight. So I stick with the 4 so I have room. We're getting to that point in the year. I actually had the bikes out in the road that we live on a couple times already. But we're getting to that point where we're going to start loading them up and going for bike rides because there's a biking trail about a mile from the house, and my old pickup was all beat up, so I didn't want to take it too far in case it broke. So we stayed on that trail a mile from the house in case something would happen. She transported the kids in the van, I'd take the bikes in the pickup. Well, a couple months ago I got a newer pickup. It's only like 3 years old, and it's got a tall cap on it. So now I don't have to worry about them getting wet, if it starts to rain while we're out or whatever. Well, we started out, our youngest wasn't riding yet, so we have a trailer for him. Put that on the wife's bike. And it was like, I think it's 1.3 miles to the other end and back, so you're looking at, like 2.5 miles altogether. Well, the total length of this trail, because there's 3 different segments, it's like 7 or 8 miles round trip. So we started doing that. And the kids got into it. Now he's on his bike, so we can go do other things. We want to load up the vehicles and go do more biking excursions. And last year we went out to Trough Creek State Park and hiked up the top of Suspended Rock, which we weren't sure if I was going to make the whole trip or not because I've had knee issues since high school from sports. But we made her, and I felt great doing it. So we got options now that I'm losing weight and I'm more active. Typical day for me, obviously when I came off the road a couple years ago, was I go to work, I'd come home, take a shower, get something to eat, and then I was stuck on the couch. And if we had something with the kids, I'd find a place to sit. Was not very active. Doing stuff with the kids in the yard, again, not very active. Like 5 or 10 minutes, I was wiped out. I'd have to go sit down, take a break. Now it's to the point where, like all last summer, if we were doing softball stuff in the yard, we're like 2 or 3 hours in. The kids want to go in and take a rest. I'm like, no, we're not done yet. I'm still good to go. So the quality of life improvement is tremendous. I do not have a set target weight that I would like to get to. For me being 6.5 feet tall, my target weight, according to the charts the doctor showed me, is 180 to 210. I have a couple friends that are almost as tall as me that are in that range, and they're little bean poles. I don't ever expect to get down to that size. Like, close though. Excuse me. If I can get closer, like under 250 again, where I can get my skates out, start playing hockey again, I'm good with that. But for right now, I'm good with where I'm at. My wife made the change with me. She's losing weight. Again, she's a lot younger than me, so it's not as big of a deal for her as it is me. I'll be 44 here shortly. But we're now being active as a family. Instead of her taking kids somewhere, I'm involved now. Just around, like, the street that we live on, there's a road that goes back. It's a dead end. There's only 2 houses back here, so we get the bikes out and they ride back and forth there. Now, with my boy being on training wheels, it's an incline going up and it levels off and goes down the other side. He's not ready for that stuff yet, so we stay, right around the house. But I'm still doing like 1 to 2 miles, just doing little circles back and forth. So I'm still getting it in. Then we walk back here, go for little walks. We live on the edge of the woods, so I want to start venturing up into there. Down by our old house, because her dad passed away last year. She got his house, but our old house is like a half a mile away. There's a walking trail down there. One guy from the borough got that set up, because I want to go down and do that too. Pretty much all I did was cut out sugar. Obviously, with a lot of the stuff that you eat on a daily basis, there is sugar, but I'm not adding additional sugar into my body by means of junk food and soda. I drink soda, but it's sugar-free, which I know there's the trade-off there is that artificial crap they put in it. But much healthier. I'm not eating near as much as I used to. Literally, like the big bowls you get at Walmart for like cereal, the adult size, I'd fill that up with macaroni. She'd do this homemade macaroni and cheese and then grilled chicken, and I would heat the bowl up with the macaroni and then add another heap with the chicken. Now, like the smaller kid size cereal bowls, it's like right around 1 cup of macaroni and a cup of chicken, so I'm not getting all the usual junk from the pasta. Pizza, there's one pizza place around us that I've been dealing with since I was a kid that I absolutely love. Extra large pizza. She'd come home with 3 boxes. One was for me and the other 2 boxes were whatever they wanted for the other 5 in the house. Usually, between the 5 of them, they'd only eat one, so they'd have another one for the next day. I'd eat all mine, because we go anywhere else for pizza, like half a pizza and I was good. Now, even with his pizza, I'm fighting to finish 2 slices. Cut out the junk, as I stated, get more active. We still got stuff to clear out of her dad's house. Her brother's got a bunch of stuff to come up and grab yet. And then at my dad's house, he had a little universal weight set in the basement, and then old manual weights from when I was a kid. And she said whenever I get the space for it, I can come get it. And a couple times we were up after he passed, hanging out with her, having dinner, going over everything. Ventured down to the basement to look at the tools, and the kids started doing the weight stuff, so we're going to get into all that once I get it down there. We got a nice size yard now, and there's a shed in the back corner, and I want to sink a couple 4x4s down there and make some kind of setup over there. Plus I got that, I don't remember how many years I've had it, the resistance bands. I got a set of those, so I'm going to get those incorporated into it. And part of the yard has a decent incline, so we're going to start doing stuff there. So if you're overweight and you want to make a change but you don't think you can, I haven't even really done very much with the physical side other than biking yet. It's just all from changing my eating and drinking habits. Alcohol's not in there. I haven't had a drink since I met her, so 14 years, going on 14 years. So that's out of the equation. It's just all the junk food and the soda and crap. I cut all that out. I came across a video of another gentleman going through the same deal. He's a truck driver. So if anyone sees this, you don't think you can do it, there's a couple of us out there that have videos talking about it. Send me a message. I'll do another video talking about my life, and I'll put my email in there. You get a hold of me. You need moral support. If you don't have anybody, friend or family, that you want to get into the mix, you just want somebody outside your circle, I'll be the words of encouragement for you, because if I can do it, there's no reason why anybody else can't. One thing I can say, and this goes about, I have to do another mental health thing too, is don't change for somebody else. Only change because you want to change for yourself. You really can't see it very clear, but there's my 4 kids. I did not change for them. I changed to better myself so that I could be there for them. That being said, generally people that are obese, like me being 300-400 pounds overweight, oh, you're a walking heart attack, blah, blah, blah. Anytime I'd go to the hospital for any kind of sickness or anything, my blood work always came back normal for like a much healthier person. So I've been very lucky. You use the term blessed. For as big, now when it was time for me to do something, I could do it. I'd get wiped out, but I'd do it anyway. Like we're doing stuff around the house, I'd work myself into exhaustion to get everything done. I've never been a quitter. It was just a weight issue. Obviously now I'm in much better shape. I can do a lot more, and I don't get winded, which is good, because we got a lot of projects to do with this. Since we moved into our dad's house, we got a lot of stuff to do, and now I can actually do it. And I have a spot. I build plastic models. I haven't done one in years, but I'm getting back into that. I have a dedicated space for that. I got a majority of that set up. I got some other odds and ends to get it ready to go. Rearranged the shed, and then it's got a nice sized garage, so I'm going to get back into woodworking again too. I already got some ideas of things I want to do there. I'll do videos on all that stuff too. I don't know how soon that's going to be, because I got a lot of stuff to clean up and take care of. But if anybody needs encouragement on weight loss, I went from a 7, almost 8X shirt down to a 4 in 2 years. Just by changing my personal habits and my lifestyle. And the only reason I got that big, because I maintained the weight I had through high school, because I was active. But as soon as I started living in the truck, all that went out the door. I was not healthy in the truck whatsoever. Days on end without sleep, eating truck stop food. I tried before I came off the road a couple years ago, I was leaving like Sunday, Monday, coming home Friday, and I'd have those little pre-packed salads. I'd load up the little fridge in the truck, and I understand the struggle. You only take so many days of food because you don't want to take too much, or you get the stuff it's it's close enough to be out of date. These truck stops, a lot of them, well, now they're changing, but they don't have a lot of healthy alternatives in there. I mean, I see a lot more now. You can go in and get, a little pre-packed salad, but a majority of it's all fast food, which is not good. But for all the trucking, that's how it was. You ate at the truck stop. If they didn't have a diner in the truck stop, you ate whatever they had. For years, I'd run in, grab a couple cases of soda and a bunch of bags of chips and junk food, and that's what I lived on. If we had the opportunity, a couple jobs that I did where I did construction and such, if we had, very rarely did we have time to go for a sit-down meal, because it was constant go, 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 go. And then when you had time to shut down for a little bit, we were sleeping. You get just enough time to go in, grab a shower, grab something to bite, real quick, and then you were back out on the road again doing work. So I've been there. I know the struggle. I also figured it out. You can do it, but you have to change everything about you. So we'll do another video on other things, but like I said, I'm down like 230 pounds in 2 years just by changing the way I was living. The other thing is you got to maintain it. I made it down to like 292 or 293. I have it written down. And then it got cold and started snowing. So I wasn't outside. Otherwise, I'd probably be, closer to 250 by now. But once I get the weights and all that stuff and get everything squared away, the garage is heated. So I can move everything into the garage from the basement for the winter, because it still gets kind of chilly in the basement. But we've got options now to where we can keep moving in the winter. And we can still do stuff through the winter, which is a big deal, because our old house that we were in, we didn't have room for anything. So now we're going to continue the trend. Especially now that all my kids are playing ball. I got 2 playing travel ball, 2 play travel league, all 3 are in rec league, and then my son's doing t-ball, so we're always doing something. Every day we got some kind of ball related stuff. I'm active in all that now. But if you want to make the change, only you can facilitate that change, because you have to look at your situation, your surroundings, your lifestyle habits. And you got to figure out what you can cut or what you can trim down to get the ball rolling. I just gave up cold turkey. I said, that's it, we're done. Most of the people I know, they can't do it the way I did. They can't just walk away from everything. They got to, cut back, wean themselves off of it, which is, hey, everybody's different. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying go quit everything cold turkey, because a lot of people can't do that. You do what suits you. But you can definitely do it. And like I said, if you need encouragement from somebody outside your circle, or you want more in depth on what I did, get a hold of me and I'll bring you in to what I did. I'm about to go into a location, so I got to cut this video off. I got to try to remember what all my other videos were. If you were a returning viewer, if you remembered all my ones about trucking stories, about stuff on the road, now that I'm home, I could probably get some of the guys involved to come in and talk about it too. That'll make it, put a different perspective on it when the guy that I'm talking about is sitting in front of me and we're both going back and forth about, all the things that we've seen and gone through. And I'll do another one on mental health and some of the stuff around the house. I think I'm down to like 24 subscribers, and I know I was looking at some of them last night. A lot of them haven't been around for a very long time, so they're just kind of, subs from 10, 15 years ago that just walked away from YouTube and just never checked that box. And I'm not here to get subscribers either. I'm just here to talk about my life experience, and if it connects with somebody, great. If not, oh well.
1 or 2 for each box would be.
So everybody, have a great day. Be safe. Love those around you, and most importantly, love yourself. Talk to you guys later.